Listen, when I got jumped, I honestly didn't even consciously like. I kind of like blacked out, bro. Like I blacked out. Like I didn't even think like counting niggas. I didn't think none of that. I told that story a while ago, Chad. That happened like my sophomore year in high school. It was like this, mind you. I'm from Philly. Grew up in Philly. Alright, cool. It's different schools, right? We got different transportation centers. And if y'all know anything about getting out of school at a certain time, every school let out. Right, I done told this story about 3 times, but we've been growing a lot lately. It's a lot of new people, so forgive the new people, right? So boom, it's a very, very short story. They knocked you out? Hell no. I got my ass whooped because there's so many niggas. But my biggest flexes out of getting jumped is that I stood my ground and I didn't go to the ground. I knew that would have been the quickest dying for me if I would have went to the ground. But at this time in my life, bro, I already had been at least 20 plus fights. I already jumped people before. I'd never been on the victim side of that shit. Any hood I ever grew up in, any area I ever grew up in, I always knew the motherfuckers that was the perpetrators of the violence. I never been on no victim side or no bullshit like that. But when I went to my high school, right, this joint was in a different hood in Philly. I went to Central. Mind you, this shit was in Alney. This like damn near like northwest Philly, whatever, near Germantown, near Alney, like shit like that, right? So this school was outside of my hood. I never went to a school that wasn't in my neighborhood. And when you go to school in your neighborhood, bro, everybody that's in your neighborhood that go to the school, if they doing something to somebody, they're doing them to the grunts of the server. They're doing them to the new kid. They doing something to the random kids. You nine times out of 10, you fight a nigga, it's like your hood go to the school. So it's like your hood sliding for your hood, riding for you, all types of shit. This school wasn't in the hood. Boom. Mind you, the school I was going to was for like smarter kids. My middle school was bad as shit, but I got into the school because I had pretty good grades in middle school. So I got into the school. So the area of the other schools would look at it like, all right, only smart niggas go here. I'm hearing about this shit the whole week. The school was called Del Valle. If you from Philly, you know about Del Valle. They would look at the central school like, all right, everybody in their suite. All right, cool, blah, blah, boom. Bro, they went on a terrorizing week, like a 2-week span of the school, right? I'm hearing niggas getting slapped up. Niggas going up to the what's it called? The transportation center was on the top of their block. So it attracted a lot of high schools to this transportation center. It's at the top of our school block. It's not on our corner, but it's at the top of our block. Bro, I'm hearing every time a kid go up there to catch the train, catch the bus, it's a group of niggas that stand by the corner and just smack them on the back of their neck. I'm hearing about that. Now, mind you, I was a little arrogant back then. I ain't had a mentality because, like I said, I never been jumped. I never been robbed. I never been on the side of things where it's like, oh, I'm watching my back or I'm suspicious of some type of shit. I think I needed to get jumped. It really humbled me. It really made me start peeping shit like, all right, like, you know, I'm not in my hood. I'm not in my area. I can't just be comfortable or just swivel some shit like that. Now, mind you lame as hell if you jumping niggas to begin with, especially if you 10 deep trying to provoke motherfuckers and pick on. That's a whole nother story, right? So listen, boom. I'm laughing about it the whole week, chat. I'm laughing about it. I'm like, yo, what? Like, niggas, y'all letting people slap y'all. But I know why they doing it. Because the school I was going to was like, again, it's like smarter kids. So they like, all right, these are a bunch of Asian students. These are a bunch of white kids. I know exactly why they're trying to get over. But again, I wasn't from that. I was from a whole different part of Philly, a whole badass neighborhood, whole rough shit. So I'm like, oh, they getting over on these kids. All right, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Don't you know, not before the end of the week, that shit happened to me? Bro, I'm walking up there one day, right? I'm only three niggas deep, me and my 2 other mans. And mind you, I just remember how bad I was lacking. Let me put this into perspective, bro. I was walking up the hill, right? I'm with 2 other niggas. I'm walking kind of slower because I think I was on my phone. I had my earphones in. AirPods didn't even drop yet. So I got my earphones like the cord swung over my ear. I'm sagging. My shoes not tied. My book bag. I used to wear my book bag and that shit would hang down to my elbows. You know what I'm talking about? You got both straps like hanging down. Bro, I'm talking about I'm loose as you could fucking get. I'm just like lacking hard as shit. So I'm walking up the hill and I'm walking slower than the 2 niggas I'm with. So they kind of ahead of me. And I'm just on my phone, scrolling, whatever. Now, mind you, I done walked up this block so many times, I was like walking without even thinking about where I was going. Next thing you know, all I hear is, no bullshit. I got slapped on the back of the neck, right? I do this one motion, and I turn around. And from my perspective, bro, from my perspective, right? I see like 5 niggas, but only one of them is close to me. And I assumed he was the one that slapped me. Because I'm like, you the closest nigga to me, and I just got slapped. So as soon as I turned around, I said, boom. And then me and him just started rumbling, and I'm fighting him. And then that's when I got jumped by the rest of the niggas. They all jumped in, they all swung in, and both of my mans turned around like, yo, what the fuck going on? And that's when they came in and tried to stop it and try to slow it down. But I ain't gonna lie, bro, I got my ass whooped. But the one, like I said, my one flex of this rumble is, when I was fighting the one nigga, I used this nigga as cover. That's why I didn't go to the ground. I know, listen, I've jumped niggas before. I done seen niggas get jumped. If you go to the ground, you're done. Shields cracked. You might need a self-revive, bro. And they might take your inventory. You might lose your phone. You might lose it. Listen, I knew all the ins and outs of getting jumped by then. I'm like, yo, if I go to the ground, I'm done. So I'm like, all right, boom. The most damage I took was to my face. My face was lumped the fuck up, and my like sides and my like back was hurting. But guess what, my nigga? Did not get stepped on, because the way the fight was is me and him just started like basically like wrestling. So it's like, all right, if you put me to the ground, you're kicking him too. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Listen, one of the craziest situations of my life, bro. It humbled the fuck out of me, Chad. Like I said, bro, I never been in a situation where the school I was going to wasn't a neighborhood school. And at the end of the day, the type of kid I was and how I grew up, I always was outside. I always knew the motherfucker. So if somebody's shooting, I know the shooter. If somebody fighting, I know the person fighting. I'm riding with, that's my mans. It was never a situation where I, like, mind you, it's literally people that grow up like that in Philly. I don't know about y'all city. Do y'all know people in y'all city that never leave their neighborhood, that literally never leave their area? If they ever do, fuck leaving the city. But imagine New York, like motherfuckers that don't ever leave the Bronx, bro. Like they don't ever leave Brooklyn. They don't, like, if they do, they can probably remember how many times they do. And if they do, they probably going for a certain reason. Like, oh, I had to go get my fucking Social Security. I had to go get my birth certificate or something like that. Like, motherfuckers do not do this. Did you get back? Mind you, it's a whole situation that came from that. So the school, mind you, the school was called Del Valle, right? So listen, from my middle school was bad as shit. I went to a middle school called B. This motherfucker is closed now. This is how bad this school was, bro. This school was bad as shit. When we was in, like, I can't remember if it was 7th grade or 8th grade, kids we went to school with caught a body. And like towards the middle to the end of the school year, killed like 2 people walking their dog. This was like, oh shit, like nobody really even, like, people was like, yo, what the fuck? It's literally, they made the news in Philly for going to jail for I don't know if they served life, but these niggas was literally like 12, 13 years old. And that happened just amongst our students. This is the people I was going to school with. This is what the environment I've been around my whole life. It just is what it is. Again, I never let it make me. I never let it turn me into something. I never let it distract me. And I damn sure was never in any of these environments and anybody can say, oh, him, he was a bitch. Oh, him, he was soft. Always stood my ground. Always. Never ran from nobody. Never let nobody bully me. Never let nobody pickle me ever in my life. Period. Ever. Now, mind you, coming from that middle school, all the motherfuckers that was crazy was the niggas I grew up with. So it was like, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? And my whole life, that's how it was. I always went to schools that was just the neighborhood school. It was just the school that all the kids that was outside went to that school. So you only got really bothered if you was a grunt. If you spawned, then like, who the fuck is this nigga? Ever lost a 1v1? I lost a couple fights. My biggest L's, bro, I can remember like my 3 biggest L's. And one of them happened when I was in like the 3rd grade, bro. I never forget how this fight went, bro. Long story short, I end up under the kid, bro. I literally end up under him like this, bro. And we end up being cool after that. A lot of my fights, I can only think of like 2 people that I fought that I'm not cool with. Like it never was respect after that. That it never was like, oh, all right, yeah, we don't rumble, or all right, yeah, we don't bump heads. But it always was respect. Like I never had a fight turn sour. And like I said, only 2 cases I can remember that is this one situation, because the nigga started the fight by sneaking me, bitch ass, weird ass nigga. And then the second one, what the fuck happened with that? What the fuck happened with that? I can't even remember why we never became cool, but I just didn't like it. The nigga was always on some like weird like sneak this like just weird cat like just weird energy, and I don't fuck with shit like that. Like if you on some weird shit, bro, you just I don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? The bathroom dude, yeah, exactly that one. See, if you're not new here, you already know I done explained some fight stories. I just don't like going there because it's like how I feel about my toxic stories. It's like I choose to be a better man. Let's talk about better things. But at the end of the day, I can't erase my past. I can't erase what I've been through. I can't erase my experience. It just is who I am. It's just my life. It is what it is. Get back from getting. This is what I was talking about, bro. So after that jump happened, right? What it turned into was I already knew niggas that went to that school, that went to Del Valle, because my middle school was bad as shit. So I'm the only one out of my middle school, God willing, because this school, the high school I went to changed my life. I swear to God it did. It changed my life because of the kids I was around, the places they were from, the ethnicities, it was a whole culture shock for me. This shit changed my life. It made me a way better person. Now, mind you, because my middle school was bad, every nigga that went from my middle school went to bad schools, all the baddest schools around the city of Philly. So when the shit happened at Del Valle, I knew people that went there. I'm like, yo, no bullshit. By the end of that day, this nigga sent me pictures. This nigga was like, yo, is this, and the third. I want you to come back up here tomorrow and point out whoever did it, and we gonna slide, we gonna be this deep. But I already had beef going on in my school at the same time. Another long story. But I had beef going on in my school at the same time. So when I got jumped, the motherfuckers that I was beefing with in my school made posts like, oh, this what you get when you blah blah blah. So I'm dealing with two separate group beefs at the same time. And this is where I told y'all this happened too. When the dudes who jumped me thought I was just some random kid that went to my high school, right? And when they found out who I knew, like who I was connected with in that school or in the school that they went to, they copped some weird ass plea and was like, he was messing with my girlfriend. He was talking to my chick. Basically they made it seem like it was personal. They didn't make it seem like, oh, we jumped the wrong person. Like, oh shit, my fault. Like they made it seem like, oh no, he did some weird shit. So, we had to slide for that. And they was like, you know what, since that shit man's though, like he can run his one. That one never happened because as soon as I went back to my school, we slid deep and fought the niggas that I was already beefing with from my school. Again, this is what I tell you, bro. My 10th grade year of high school was the worst year of my life. It was the baddest year of my life. It's a whole nother fight I got into that same year that I almost caught a case for that. And it was a whole different situation. But that's the year that also changed my life. That's the year that started to make me TyKwonDoe. That's the year that my life started to turn around and I started to become more like stern about, all right, listen, I don't want that for me. I don't want to be on that type time. I don't want to move like that. I don't want to think like that because I'm really just becoming a product of my. I'm becoming like every nigga that I grew up with. I'm becoming like every nigga that I said to myself I didn't want to be like. With all due respect to all my homies, with all due respect to niggas I grew up with, but I knew once I got to the high school I went to, I was like, all right, I feel like I got another chance at life. And it's like, and I still was at that high school getting into problems, messing around with bitches. Grades wasn't like. I'm telling you, my first 2 high school years was rough, chat. It was real rough. So me being where I'm at and doing what I'm doing now, bro, is like one of the biggest blessings that you could name. Every nigga I grew up with, every nigga that I grew up with that's that know their circumstance, that's where I'm at now, and they see what I'm doing, bro, it's nothing but love and respect. Cause we know where the fuck we came from. We know what the options were. And here I am on the internet doing this shit. And I know sometimes I get on here and I portray being super cool, calm, and collected, and cool and fun. Because at the end of the day, that's my personality. That's just me. But I got a lot of rough shit to me. I got a lot of rough shit to my past that I don't really try to like make cool. I don't try to like lift myself up like, yeah, nigga, I'm one of them ones. I don't do that because I know what that shit really bring. I know what that shit attract. And I know what that could have been. And that shit not cool at all. That shit is not to be respected at all. And if you had to choose that, if you went down that road and that's just the life you lived, then that's different. But I'm not coming to the internet trying to make that shit, prop it up to be cool.